Coach Campbell kind of talked about how he loves going for it on fourth as much as anybody. Just what does that kind of do, for the team when you guys go for it on fourth and convert? Besides the obvious.
No, I mean, yeah, I think it's a 50-50. When you don't get it, there's at times a deflating part of it. But I also think that, when you make educated decisions to go for it and you get it, I think there's a sense of like, man, hey, we're playing to win the game. And even sometimes when you don't get it on fourth down, there's a sense of on the sideline of, man, hey, we're really going to win the game. But I think it's just an emotion. I think Coach Campbell does make very good, educated decisions on when to do that. And it's one of those things, man. Like when you don't get it, you're an idiot, and when you do, it's really good. I think the biggest part for us is making educated decisions on when that's the right call and the right decision, and obviously a lot of factors go into it, but when you get it, it's an uplifting a deal, particularly when you're on the other side of the 40. I think it's a good thing.
I'm sure you guys have charts and stuff, but what is the balance by feel versus by kind of looking at down and distance?
Yeah, obviously there's a big part of it that goes from, I guess, for a lack of better terms, everyone's using it, analytics. The decision of where you're at on the field, the score, the time. But I think there's also the part of it on how are you playing on offense, how are you playing on defense. On top of all the other things that probably actually matter, that's probably the biggest feel part of it, would be just having a feel for the football game. And I think we're fortunate enough that our head coach has a great feel and throughout a game on offense and defense on what needs to be done and how it's going, that will help him make the best decision.
How positive has it been so far this season? It seems like that's really extended some pretty important drives.
Yeah, it has, and there's been times where we didn't convert too, and I think that was a point of emphasis that we had going into last week was, if we were going to make those decisions to go for it, really having a good plan to do so, and we felt like we got a few there that helped us, and it's just for us trying to stay ahead of it and being smart with when you do that, and obviously some weeks you feel like there's maybe a better chance to do it than other weeks. Some weeks maybe you don't feel that maybe a matchup or what they do defensively doesn't allow it. So it kind of goes a little bit week by week.
How has Brees responded from his 132-yard game?
He's been good.
Practice?
Yeah, we felt like he had a really good week of practice last week, and I've been really pleased with the way he's practiced this week.
Has that been? Were you concerned about that? I mean, do you see some guys go wacky after having a big game and then come back, and young guys come back and yell at, I know everything now and don't know anything?
Obviously that's a concern, I think, as a coach in general, but not. I just don't feel like that's part of this team, and not him. I think he's a guy, and particularly in that running back room, because I think those guys do a great job of pushing each other, but I think they do a great job of keeping each other grounded. And I think that's one of the things that's special about the kids here, is I think they're always pretty much the same guys and pretty level-headed. So obviously it's a concern, but not with him.
Does the offensive line continue to improve? Are they where you wanted them to be maybe at the midway point of the regular season?
Yeah, I don't know if I said, hey, I want them to be what we want to do, what our goal, and it sounds cheesy, and I think, but it's Coach Campbell's goal is for our guys to reach their full potential and to be their best every day. And I feel like those kids are really working hard to do that every day. And, at the end of the day, we got to be really happy with the way that they're working. And I think that they're seeing that when they work really hard and they're diligent about their studies, that the result is usually better than it is bad. And so that's been the challenge for that group, and they've done a great job of working really hard, and it's really important to those guys, and they're continuing to get better, and we have to now. It's a new week. We have to continue to get better because we face a really good opponent.
Is their chemistry as good as it's been? Because sometimes one guy makes a block, you go, oh, look at that. But it seems like they're, in terms of playing off each other as 5-1, maybe as good as they've been.
Yeah, I think they've. I think that chemistry. I think they're getting comfortable being around each other, and obviously, as you go into it, and the longer you play together, the more you recognize things quicker. The calls are a little bit easier. The things that can derail an offensive line become a little bit easier as you go through. So, for lack of a better word, I think chemistry is a good thing. When it boils down to it, that's the 5, 6, 7 guys, they're good guys. And chemistry is easy to have when the guys are hard workers and, they care about each other and they care about the team. So those things do help.
When you look at the Texas Tech, film from the last couple of years, is the defense different, or are they using the players the same way, kind of?
No, they have a different defensive structure. I think they're very multiple in what they do, and I think they have really good players. And very impressed by their athleticism, the speed. I think they do a really good job on the inside, and I think they're really well coached. I think they have really good scheme. They have the ability to be multiple in how they line up, and the different looks that they can give you. And we certainly have our hands full.
I think the Oklahoma State game, they forced 5 turnovers. I don't know if they were all forced. I guess some of them might have been self-inflicted. But what's allowed them? Is that the biggest thing they do, is create some havoc?
Well, they put pressure on the quarterback, and they do it by blitzing, and they also do it out of their base fronts. I think they have a good, solid defensive line. The linebackers are really good players, and I think on the secondary, I think they're very, very skilled. You watch them in the secondary, and they do force a lot of the turnovers. I think sometimes when you look at a stat line and like, oh man, this guy's got this many interceptions, and then you watch the videotape. Sometimes you're like, man, well, you threw it right to him. But I think these guys do the back end has a very good cover skills, but I think they have good ball skills as well.